Good morning. Welcome to another edition of Take 5. It is Friday, May 27th, 2011, my 5th Graders Awards Day, so I'll be heading out in just a little bit. And I just want to thank those of you who have emailed me in the last several days. There's been an upswing in emails on the last particular broadcast I've done. I guess you don't get teaching like this very often from your pulpit, and you're grateful, and I'm thankful that you've encouraged me. And of course, I'm just going through the Bible. I'm going to keep doing that. And when you do that, you do hit obscure passages. You get things that you generally don't hear in church. So glad to be providing that service for you. And we've got one today that you don't hear very often. We're in Matthew chapter 22, verse 23. The same day Sadducees came to him, who say that there is no resurrection. Let's stop right there. That's how you can remember who the Sadducees were. See, they're sad, you see, because they don't believe in the resurrection. And they asked him a question, saying, Teacher, Moses said, if a man dies having no children, his brother must marry the widow and raise up children for his brother. Now there were 7 brothers among us. The first married and died, and having no children, left his wife to his brother. So too the second and third, down to the 7th. After them all, the woman died. In the resurrection, therefore, of the 7, whose wife will she be? For they all had her. Now, I think the obvious question is, what in the world's wrong with this woman that all her husbands keep dying? But this is referring to the Old Testament practice of the brother is entitled to produce offspring, and if he dies before he does, then the next oldest brother in line is supposed to marry that woman and produce his children, and that would be considered his line. So that's what it's referring to. But see, these guys are trying to trick Jesus because they don't believe in a resurrection anyway. Now, you had the Pharisees and the Herodians trying to trick Jesus yesterday. You get the Sadducees today, and then you get the Pharisees again tomorrow. So these are all these groups trying to mess up Jesus because he's built some credibility here. They're trying to tear it down. But look at Jesus' answer. Verse 29, but Jesus answered them, you are wrong. Boy, that's politically incorrect, isn't it? To tell somebody they're wrong. Sometimes people are wrong. You are wrong because you know neither the Scriptures nor the power of God. For in the resurrection, all right, let me point out right there, Jesus believes in the resurrection. He's saying that right there. They neither marry nor are given in marriage, but are like angels in heaven. And as for the resurrection of the dead, have you not read what was said to you by God? I am the God of Abraham, and the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. He is not God of the dead, but of the living. And when the crowd heard it, they were astonished at his teaching. All right, he says, look, it doesn't matter, because at the resurrection, there's no marriages anyway. So, I'm single, and a lot of y'all know that. I didn't choose to be, but for whatever reason, I am now single. A lot of you are married. But your marriage is going to end. It's either going to end in divorce or it's going to end in death. But when it ends, it's over. Your marriage does not continue in the resurrection because, see, you are married to the Lord. He's your husband. And I know that sounds a little wrong if you're a guy, but still it's true. He is your husband. You're the one you're committed to in a much stronger way even than you're committed to your spouse. However, your marriage now is a reflection of that relationship. So try to make it the best it can be. But when it's over here, it's done. There won't be one there. Now, the point is, he says, he's the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. And he's not God of the dead, but of the living. So what he's saying is those guys are still alive. See, he's not the God of the dead. The dead don't need a God. So the fact is, if he's still the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, that means those guys have risen from the dead. Now, you're getting into all kinds of things here, and we might get into it if we get to 1 Corinthians 15 ever. But just I'll sum this up. When you die, your spirit does ascend. Now that's that's the resurrection of your spirit. But there will be a total resurrection where every body is connected with every spirit, and the righteous go to be with God, and those who don't know Jesus, well, Jesus has talked about that plenty. Okay, they go to hell, all right? But there will be a resurrection when your body's united with your spirit. But from the moment you die, your spirit does go to be with the Lord. So there's already that resurrection, and then there's the final resurrection where your body is reconnected with your spirit. But it's a glorified body, not the same body you have now. And there is some mystery involved in that, but it's all good. I'll just tell you that. You stay close to God, and what's coming is really, really good. What you're going through now, even if it's good, it's the worst it'll ever get. Okay? Because after the resurrection, you're with God forever in glory. And it's something great to look forward to. Anyway, they're still trying to trip him up, and they'll be trying again. The Pharisees, those old rascals, those bad guys, they're back tomorrow. So we got to deal with them again. Come back tomorrow on the next edition of Take 5.